I want to introduce my co-panelist. He's an incumbent school board commissioner for the Rochester City School District in fourth year and up for re-election. Many of you remember him. He was on our panel a couple of years ago when he was beginning to run for another education office. A grassroots public school advocate and parent, he has two kids in the district, age 15 and 17, was a very active parent and connected with folks. And so they voted him into office, a longtime voice in the community against the school to prison pipeline and police brutality, and just plain old blatant racism that exists in the different systems of oppression. I want to make it clear that this brother has been in our lives for quite some time. We first met him when we were organizing for our comrade and people's lawyer, Sister Lynn Stewart. They were out there occupying, the phrase Occupy Wall Street was going on. And they came and were sleeping in their car to make sure that they got there early enough to help us protest for Lynn. Whenever they had $1, they made sure Lynn got 50 cents out of it. These are warriors on the front line. And I have always respected their struggle in Rochester because they understand what community control means. You can't have community control of education if the parents don't know what's happening. And they had all kinds of workshops and panels to help the parents understand the institution. When you were listening to Charles Barron, and Charles Barron was saying incredible things like, you're supposed to be involved with the budget. You're supposed to be involved in passing the laws. You're supposed to be involved with any kind of construction that comes into your community. This is what community control of education, many people don't understand, has its foot in every one of these buckets. When you talk about education, you're talking about construction, you're talking about painting, you're talking about healthcare, you're talking about guidance, you're talking about plumbing, you're talking about building buildings. And this is the money that the unions wanted to keep us from having when we stood up in New York City and said, we're taking back our schools. And that's why so many people, including Ralph Porter, went to jail and lost all his licenses. So I want to introduce you to someone who is running a campaign right now to understand that it's very glamorous to run for president, even though you know you're not going to win. And I salute Sister Cynthia McKinney for doing that. But the boots on the ground work is the local level. When we understand what Frantz Fanon was trying to tell us, we must change. We must change and devote our lives to changing against colonialism, against being the tools of colonialism. And so it is with great pride that I want to have my comrade, Ricardo Adams, to take over the mic now and talk to you about an election process that is not for senator, that is not for governor, that is not for president. Ricardo, your mic is open. And thank you.
Good afternoon. First of all, I need to say that it really doesn't sit well with me even being a part of this electoral system. It's not something I wanted to pursue. I have a bachelor's degree in trouble, and I'm a graduate of the School of Prison Pipeline. So this really is not my comfort zone, but it is a necessity because me getting on the school board allows me to put Ida B. Wells in the curriculum. It allows me to advocate for looping. Looping is when teachers have second and third grade kids for both years. They know the student better. They know the parents better. They're not so afraid of the parents. And it's just a advantageous way of a child learning. And that's where we have to be, our focus got to be on our young ones. And the way I've gone forward is I've been married to the truth. That's been my power. I take vows that I'm gonna stick to the truth, no divorce, no matter what. And it's worked for me amongst our people, because it's our people who put me in office. I can get white folks vote. I can, by way of some of them might have a little understanding, others might feel guilt, but I can get their vote. But it's our vote that is the difference maker. And that's what I reached out and I was able to get. We don't really understand the power of our vote. We put Obama in office. White folks didn't put Obama in office. We put Obama in office. And I ain't saying that was a great thing. I'm just saying it was something different, something out of the ordinary that he got in office. And so, and we did that. And so we need to know that there's no limits to what we can do. We need to empower ourselves and empower me, because I need all the empowerment. When I'm going up against a system that operates in a ninja type fashion. You don't even see it coming. It be people looking like me and everything, man, just blocking me. You know, I've been in office for 4 years, just the 4th year. And just this year I went to a training, and the training is teaching me how to support the racist, oppressive system, how to not engage with parents, how not to engage with community. They say that's micromanaging. No, that's listening. I don't want to become what I hated when I was just a community member and just a parent. I used to hate it when people didn't listen to me. And so I'm not going to be in there and not listen. And so you ain't gonna train me to be that way. So, and these are folks that look like me. So that's what I mean when I say it comes in the form of ninja. You don't even recognize it's on you. The system fights really, really hard to promote zero tolerance, military, all that military type stuff, the privatization, bad curriculum, you know, all that nonsense. So we have to just reach out to our folks and connect with them and depend on them and lead with truth. Truth is our power, man. Truth is our power. When I was out in, I spent a lot of time in Ferguson. When Ferguson first jumped off, 2 days later, I was on my way out there, and I spent a significant amount of time out there with Tribe X. And one of the main things that I learned out there is that Black folks in general really are very busy and have a lot on their plate. But what I learned, the key is that even though I have a lot on my plate, what I have to do to counter that is to get a bigger plate, And that's kind of, people say, well, what about self-care and all that? No, we have to put everything on the line, man. It's a crisis. We're in a crisis situation, and we have to be willing to that's the mindset we got to operate from. It's worked for me, and I'm hoping that it's contagious. That it's going to spread out. And that's all I have. I ain't going to beat you to death, talking you to death. I could do that as well, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna end it there.
Well, I want to thank you, Comrade Ricardo, and I want to say to the people who are still with us today, Frantz Fanon, when he's talking about a dying colonialism, he emphasizes the greatest is not necessarily giving one's life in combat and dying. It's perhaps changing one's daily life, one's routines, prejudices, and immemorial custom, insofar as these were a hindrance to the revolutionary struggle. And I want to emphasize to each one of my comrades here today that this is what you have been doing. When you break it down the way the chairman and Charles and Brother Ajamu and Brother Odom have done. And I'm going to conclude with Sister Columbayi. I don't know how much time I have, but I remember she said after she met the chairman Her brother had been assassinated by the Army of Occupation, and it was destroying her and her family. And she heard him speak, and she went home and she said to her family, Mom, I know what we got. We got this thing called oppression. And it was like a light went off, and it was such a pleasure. And this is why I miss being with you guys in person, because every time I would see her another week or another month later, she just changed in front of my eyes. It was just what Frantz Fanon was talking about. Colonialism doesn't die unless you kill it. And as Stephen Biko said, the biggest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the minds of the oppressed. And so when you break it down in your daily life, wherever you are, that's where you stand and fight. And I thank you, for giving me an opportunity to share one of the warriors I love so much. I love both Ricardo and his wife, Mary. As Che Guevara says, essentially, let me say the revolution is about love. Take care.